Yo, what's going on? It's the NRW. Always give you the NEW. I am Patrick Michael Strange, and I am joined by my Nerds of Color colleague, my man Jamie Noguchi.
Hello.
What's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Good, man. I'm happy to have a Fast and the Furious historian on here with me today, because I've let the people know in previous episodes that I'm kind of a occasional watcher.
Okay.
I haven't really seen the last three, but I was super excited for Hobbs and Shaw because it has my three favorite male crushes of the moment, if you will. My man Rock, my man Jason Statham, and of course the Black Superman himself, DJ Driz.
Oh my God. He was so good. He was so good in this movie. He was so good.
All right, but before we get into that, let me throw it to a trailer reaction that the crew did leading up to this film, and then when we come up off of that, my man Jamie will break it down, let you know what we're getting into with Hobbs and Shaw. So let's throw it to the trailer react right here. Here we go.
Pick a door. All right, then. No, that's my door. Pick another door. Who's rolling here? No, you're right. This is your door. What's the matter? Got a lot of bad guys behind that door.
Access granted. Access denied. Access denied. Access denied.
You done broke that guy's nose.
Here's another guy.
Got a whole bunch of guys there.
At the shore, we've got unfinished business. Shore's sister took something from me.
I like the bad guy uniform.
It could wipe out half the population, and I want it back. You want to tell me just what we're dealing with here? It's my sister's family business. When it's the fate of the world, it becomes my business.
Thing sounds really dodgy. Look after your sister.
Listen,
The only way to survive is working together, like a team.
Sounds like a solid city.
buckle up, fat boy.
On my swing!
Oh!
Hey, see the look on his face? You have no idea how long I've been waiting to do that.
Music's already started.
Feeling very fast. Oh, there we go. Fast and Furious.
Oh, transporter.
So you guys are being hunted. An army of mercenaries, led by a genetically enhanced soldier.
Look at me. I'm Black Superman.
Crazy.
Damn.
He really is Black Superman.
Can I get some more power, please?
This is a very long trailer. This is the whole movie right now.
I'm sorry to bring trouble to your mama, but I need my brothers.
That's Roman Reigns. Yes! His
Let's
cousin.
go into war. We're gonna need cars and guns.
I wonder if that's most of his family here.
Mama, where's all our guns?
I can't read them.
Very noble, Mrs. Hobbs. Sure is trouble.
That's an understatement.
Let's get old school.
Aren't they gonna help them?
Well, all right.
I mean, there's a lot going on in this movie. Come on! There's gonna be some bodies.
We're going for a ride!
Usually it. This is a money shot. You know, randomest wild shit. Oh! Okay.
Tell me this is not happening.
I think more hair just grew on my chest. Hell
Yo, that is out of my dick. Okay. Pause.
All right, we are back. Jamie, break it down, man. Let us know about Fast and the Furious leading up to Hobbs and Shaw.
All right, so the character that The Rock plays is sort of a new entry into the Fast and Furious series. He's not Vin Diesel. He wasn't in the first film. He wasn't in the second film. He wasn't in the third film. He wasn't in the fourth film. I think he came on around the fifth or sixth. And my friend Brandon Chalmers is really the Fast and Furious historian, so he remembers exactly which character hops into the franchise. But The Rock kind of is a late entry. He kind of, I feel like his presence kind of revived the franchise, because there were a few films that were just kind of not the best. Like 4 was kind of a middling film. It wasn't my favorite. But The Rock kind of injected.
Was that the Tokyo Drift one? Was
Tokyo Drift? Tokyo Drift was the third.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I must have skipped off of after the second one. Too Fast, Too Furious, right?
Yeah.
That was when they introduced Tyrese, I think, and Luda.
Yeah, Ludacris. I mean, his character is amazing. I'm kind of sad that he didn't make it over to the spinoff. But yeah, like so Rock is sort of a later addition, but he plays like a marshal or somebody. Initially he was in charge of taking down Toretto's crew. So like he was in charge of taking down Vin Diesel's crew, but like all Fast and Furious movies, like the bad guys become the good guys, and the good guys all work together, and they extend their family, because the movie's all about family and stuff. So he has a nickname in Ludacris's phone. His name, The Rock's character's name, is Samoan Hulk, because he's awesome. The fucking Hulk. So that's where he comes in. Shaw, Jason Statham's character, is the brother of one of the villains in. And I wish I had Wikipedia open with all of this in, but
no worries.
Jason Statham's brother was the villain in one of the previous films.
Yeah.
And this is where it gets a little soap opera-y, because in another film, Letty, Michelle Rodriguez's character, quote unquote, died. And then all of a sudden she came back and she was partnered up with Jason Statham's brother. And so that movie was all about like Vin trying to win her back and like restart her memories and bring her onto the good side of everything. And so they kill Jason Statham's brother, and then in the post-credit scene, Jason Statham kills Han from Tokyo Drift. And so that sets up, this big fight between Jason Statham and the rest of the crew. This is a soap opera. It's not an action movie franchise. It's like, if you're into wrestling, you get it. If you're into soap operas, you get it. Like that's what
we're totally wrestling fans over here, so I'm into that. Okay.
Yeah. And so that's kind of the background. Jason Statham's character starts out as a villain, but then he ends up turning to the good side to help the crew survive the last caper. Every popular actor that gets put onto one of these movies turns into a good guy, even if they start out as a villain. So,
gotcha. Okay. Yeah. All right. I got a lot of catching up to do, man. So that leads us now to Hobbs and Shaw, where they team up all of a sudden, and it's kind of explained at the beginning. I think, from what I recall. Yeah,
they hate each other. They didn't get along in the Fast and Furious movie, where the both of them have to work together. So that's sort of that's where the history between the two characters comes from. They fought against each other until they were forced to work with each other because of reasons, because the script said so, and The Rock always has to be a good guy. So that sets up this movie, and in this movie, it's sort of like a heist film. Let's see. I have the casting. Vanessa Kirby plays Jason Statham's sister, who is she's a MI6 agent, and her team is put in charge of guarding this programmable virus. And this is where the comic book influence of this series comes in. But
I enjoy it. a comic book head, I was really happy about that.
Oh, sure. So her team is put in charge of protecting this programmable virus that can be programmed to seek out certain DNA sequences and obliterate the person's body from the inside because science. And as they secure this virus from the bad guys, Idris Elba comes in with his team and decimates her team.
Yeah.
And in order to get away with the virus, she injects it into herself and runs away. And then Hobbs and Shaw are put in charge of tracking her down because Idris Elba's group, I forget what they're called, but they frame her for the murder of the team because they control all the media or whatever. So they're like the
most black op of black op. They're like
the Illuminati.
That controls the world. They're the Illuminati, basically.
Yeah, the techno Illuminati. And they believe in human evolution. So we're off to the races, and that's basically what this movie is. Running away from Idris Elba, trying to save Hobbs' sister, and that's it. I mean, like, there are no surprises. If you've seen the trailers, you know how the movie is going to end.
Well, I will say there's a couple of guest appearances that completely blew me away and just added to the overall awesomeness of the movie.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite? I know I have. Well, the first one I'll say real quick that I don't know. Well, it kind of led me to believe, was she in previous ones? Helen Mirren, the mother of the Shaws. Was she in the previous films?
Yeah, she was in one of the other previous films. She's the reason why Shaw turns into a good guy, because she convinces him to work with Hobbs and the rest of the crew to save the day. So they get to her, they convince her, and then she convinces the Shaw character to kind of work with everybody. So she's been canonically added to this Fast and Furious family.
Awesome. Okay. And then another big one, I think, that pulls is Hobbs. Yeah, Hobbs is Rock's character.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I had no idea he was going to be in this.
The same. It blew my mind. I was like, "What the what?" I was loving it, and and which I'll also bring up the other one because we'll talk a little bit more. We also got Kevin Hart as a U.S. Air Marshal.
Yeah.
Like that, I could understand because we know from the Jumanji franchise that Dwayne and Kevin are big friends, and they go on each other on Twitter all the time, which is hilarious. But now going back to Ryan, where did Ryan and Jason and Idris, how did they get Ryan involved? Is what I'm curious about.
I don't know. Someone must have pulled up to his front yard with like a dump truck of money.
Oh, I know, right? And
actually, I think the director of this one directed the Deadpool movie, or one of the Deadpool movies. So like he had a good relationship with Ryan Reynolds. I think that's what I read somewhere, but don't quote me on that shit.
No worries. All right, we'll Wikipedia that. People say it in the comments or whatever.
Yeah.
But that was a huge surprise.
Yeah.
I thought that was great to have them two interact, for him to pull him in and just kind of let Ryan be Ryan. His fast mouth, his interacting with the child, which was awesome when they're at that diner. To bring him in. That was cute, and it was just good cinema right there for a fan. That if you're a fan of both, we're chewing it up. I love that scene.
Yeah, it kind of felt like they just said, "All right, Ryan, just sit down. Here's what you're trying to get, and then open your mouth." And they just let him go. It was a lot of fun.
And then going back to Kevin, when we first get him as an air marshal on the plane, going back and forth between him and Statham, because Statham. Oh, and just the dynamics between Statham and The Rock. I want more. It's like this film is like a return to the great buddy films of the 80s. Showing my age a little bit, but I'm sure you and we grew up on that stuff. And these two guys they're dynamic. They interacted well, and then they brought Kevin in that air marshal scene after they were kind of going toe to toe verbally, and then Kevin kind of interplaying in that. That was just amazing.
Yeah, that was really funny.
And then and then he kind of helps out later on, towards the end of the film with his his experience as air marshal with his access to planes and helicopters and a whole bunch of things that I think he said because he wanted to be the third tip of the what do you call it? What does Namor have of his his
Oh, the
spear,
trident
you
or
know what I'm
whatever.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to be part of that awesomeness. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was pretty cool. I had a great time watching it. But before we get into some of our favorite points, why don't we talk about? Was there any low points for you?
So there were two things that bothered me. One is when they get to Samoa, because they end up on the island of Samoa because The Rock said, let's add some island flavor to this, which is great. I loved it.
Yeah.
But like in the space of like 5 minutes, there were like 3 or 4 sweeping panning drone shots of just going past this way and then going past the other way and going past this way and turning, and like Jason Statham and The Rock are having a deep manly conversation and we're gonna lead them here and it's all about this and blah blah blah. Meanwhile this drone is just going back and forth and back, and it felt like somebody when they did a test screening, they were like, I don't understand what's going on. So they had this extra drone footage and they're like, well, let's cut this shit together and have The Rock do a voiceover to explain for more of the stupid people in the audience what's going on. And I felt like they could have cut like 4 or 5 of those drone shots.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I think one of them was when Rock was talking to Vanessa Kirby's character. To just make it, I guess, more romantic, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, look at them. They're on this island. They're chatting. Oh, my gosh. But I'm 100% behind you on that one. That, from an editor standpoint, they could have done away with that.
Yeah, keep the Vanessa Kirby one or keep the Rock and Statham one, but don't have both of them. Like one or the other. And then the other thing that I was waiting for them to say when like I forgot, it was at the end of the movie where The Rock is talking with Statham and they're about to, beat the shit out of Idris Elba. And instead of dropping the word family, like he should have, because family is the theme of the entire franchise. They're like, yeah, it's all about teamwork. And I was like, motherfucker, I almost got up and just yelled at the screen. It's like, family, it's about family. What are you talking? Why have we been here? You're on Samoa because of your family, not because of teamwork. I'm
with you on there. Knowing even though I missed quite a bit of the Fast and Furious franchise, that is a humongous element of this series. And so, yeah, that makes perfect sense. So going along with that, I don't know if I have low points because again, I kind of fell off of the franchise. This brought me back, so it was all of a high point. Yeah. So since we were at that point, right, and then I'll throw us back to some other high points.
Okay.
They don't kill, or at least to me. So he kind of gets going back to Idris. They should have said that family comment, but they shut him off. This technical Illuminati, they shut him off and he just falls to the sea.
Oh, yeah.
And from what I know with this series, it's very soap opera-y. Do you think he died? I don't think he died. So to me, that's kind of a high point. It was kind of a way to get rid of him because, again, he's a Superman. Like, you can't kill Superman. Let's just make him fall into the water. Let's turn him off. But to me, if I'm, I put so much money into that body, I probably have subs, down there to pick up the body and, and then maybe revive him again because why not?
Yeah,
so do you think they died? Do you think that was a good write-off? Because I wouldn't have liked them killing him. I like the fact that he got turned off.
Yeah, I think it was open-ended enough. And man, you could tell that Idris Elba was having a blast playing this character. And I would love to see him back in some capacity because, just seeing him beat the shit out of these two and like punch through walls and like eat bullets and shit. It was awesome. Like people want to see him as like James Bond. I want to fucking see Idris Elba as Black Superman. Like,
hell yeah.
Put him in a John Henry movie or just don't even bother with that. Just call him Superman. Put the S on his chest. Have him beat the shit out of stuff. Because that was awesome. that to me was just perfect. So I would love to see him back in some capacity.
Yeah. And what do you think of his bike? That thing was like Transformer, dude. That was like connected to his brain. Yeah, it would pop out of nowhere. Just the scenes with him on the bike and then going underneath the vehicles and just oh my god, I love it. Yeah.
My robot puppy. Oh,
exactly, a robot puppy. Perfect. Yeah.
So good.
That's a high point. Feel free to throw in some of yours. I'll throw in another one that actually took me by surprise. Because you had Idris Elba, you had Jason Statham, you had The Rock, but Vanessa Kirby, I wasn't too familiar with her as an actress. She held her own. I was actually okay. I wasn't unsure with her with everything, but the way her character built throughout the film, she wasn't just no love interest or some sister. She held her own with those three, man. I thought she was pretty good.
Yeah, she was a welcome breath of fresh air because, like, you know, Jason Statham and The Rock are just chewing up scenery, trying to outdo each other because, like, you know, they signed all these contracts and they have to look good. Meanwhile, Vanessa Kirby putting in the work. Like, you know, she's not overstaying her welcome. She's not trying to outshine everyone. She's doing the part, and she was great. Like, she stood out to me. She was a great contrast between the two. I tell you what, the scene that made me tear up, and I did not expect this in a Fast and Furious anything. When they're on the island of Samoa and they're in the house with the mother and all the cousins and the brothers sitting there, and The Rock and his brother are having this argument, and the mother slams her hand on the table, and she's like, you know, my baby came back to me. This is family. You know, we give them whatever they want. The food off our back, the clothes off our back, the food on our table, all that stuff. And then, you know, I started getting choked up. And then she takes her sandal, and she's like, and if you don't like it, I'm going to take the sandal and beat the shit out of all of you.
Yeah.
And that choked me up.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Growing up we're both Asian. Growing up in an Asian household, man, and just how important that is, and how important family is. And that was just amazing as well.
Family.
I agree. Family. Yeah. Why didn't you say that? Yeah.
Oh, and I will say I was disappointed that Roman Reigns didn't do his Superman punch.
Oh, you know what? I was looking in that whole battle scene. I was expecting some of those super moves to come out, but we didn't see that. We did see a couple slams, but we didn't get the super punch.
Yeah, we got a Samoa drop and we got a spear, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah. And I'm actually kind of surprised, you know, with as many different actors that they had as additional cast and as family, as cousins, we got Roman Reigns. I was kind of surprised we didn't get like the Usos, like actual people that Rock could have brought in, because they're, you know, they are family. Why not let them have a little bit of scenery there? But we did get Roman, but it would have been cool to see, because they were saying Uso a lot. I was like, why not bring the Uso?
The Brother Brothers. Bring the Brother Brothers.
The Brother Brothers.
I guess their schedules,
good stuff.
They're so busy always, I guess. So their schedule probably didn't work out. But yeah, I mean, you know, the Samoa scenes were surprisingly heartwarming.
Yeah, I'm with you. What else? Man, again, great moments. I love the opening, how they brought they're both living their separate lives. I love the split shots of the screen as a filmmaker, how like we saw Jason in London and we had, you know, The Rock. Was it in LA or California, I guess?
Somewhere in California.
But just how we saw them in their different life routines.
Yeah.
You know, waking up in the morning, eating breakfast, into then just going about their day, and just lead up to then coming together to then tackle the Black Superman that is Idris. It was a fun movie. I've seen a couple of people, you know, kind of talking, you know, their ish online. To me, the way they sold the film, the lead up, the trailers. I know there's a lot of people that are like, were kind of upset, and actually, I think one of the biggest controversies that led up to Hobbs and Shaw was, I think it was Tyrese that was talking trash. He was very upset because that whole thing where we need to stick together, it needs to be staying Fast and Furious, and that I was like, come on, bruh. You know, there's other stories to be told, but you know, we all know how Tyrese is and his issues. But anyway, I was happy with it, and to me, you know what it is. It lived up to what I expected.
Sure,
and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it's a good entry. If they do more with these characters, it'll be great. They need to bring Vanessa Kirby back, because otherwise, why bother? I mean, The Rock and Statham are great, but she adds so much to the trio that like I can't see them going forward without her in the franchise. Fast 9 should be good, because I think you know, Vin and his crew are going to be looking at this and be like, all right, we need to step our game up. So like, I think it's a good shot in the arm for the franchise. And, other than the Marvel movies, what other big, long-standing franchises are out there? Like, Bond has kind of fallen off. So we got Fast and Furious,
Yeah, and it's pretty fun. Like I'm ready. I want more of these spin-offs. I want another Hobbs, and then I'm now ready to go back and see the other Fast films and lead up to a Fast 9 if that's what they're going to do. But I definitely want to see more. And again, well, we've already kind of spoiled a lot. They did leave this very open-ended. And so question I have for you, who do you think is behind Intion or whatever, this techno Illuminati? Because there's a story to be told there.
Yeah.
Like we need to know who that is. They left it open-ended.
The obvious one is Charlize Theron's character from I think the latest one or the previous one. She's like a techno hacker. She's like a hacker or whatever. So her being the big bad behind the voice, I think would be great. She's already mentioned that she wants to come back and all that kind of stuff. So that's who I think it is. If it's not in continuity, if it's not someone we've seen already, then it doesn't really matter who they end up casting it, but I think it would be fun to see Charlize Theron again as a bad guy, because she was great, just eating up scenery and just chewing it up and being evil and stuff.
All right, so I gotta really go back and catch those other previous films. So now with this, we have Ryan in the universe, Ryan Reynolds, we have Kevin Hart in the universe, and I think you put it right. This is kind of like the Fast and Furious is the MCU version of Fast and, you know what I'm saying? It has all these amazing character actors and just so many stars. Like I'm dying for more. Now to see what we saw in Hobbs and Shaw, now tonight for the rest of the Fast and Furious guys to have Ryan in there now, Kevin in there. I'm sold, man. It's part of the fun. It's a fun ride. Yeah,
it's fun, it's stupid, and it's amazingly diverse. Like, we're both on the Nerds of Color network, and to see an action movie be as diverse as the Fast and Furious franchise is, it's pretty amazing. Like even today in the new millennium, where you would think that it wouldn't be such a big deal, it is a big deal because you don't see it a lot in action films.
I completely agree. And to celebrate culture, like with The Rock, he got to celebrate his Samoan culture in this, and and all the other films celebrate it. Like Cars brought people together.
Yeah.
And I think, as citizens of the world, there's certain things. Films bring people together. Music brings people together. People love cars. Cars brings people. That's what brought people to the franchise. Action movies bring people together. So again, it's the beauty of diversity that's displayed in these Fast and the Furious films, and so it's amazing.
Yeah, they got the haka in. They got the haka.
Yes,
giant big budget feature film like the Samoan the war dance. That was amazing.
Yes, it was so good, man. Dude, thank you so much for joining me, man. On this.
Sure.
We generally kind of give a thumbs up, thumbs down on these reviews, and so let's do it on a 1, 2, 3. What do we think? 1, 2, 3. You can see how glowing we are on this. 2 thumbs up. Definitely check it out. And some toes. I'm not as limber as you. I'm not gonna do it right now. So just trust me. Underneath this bar, I got 2 toes up there. Which
yeah, man.
Jamie, man, thank you for your time.
For sure.
Why don't we tell them how they can follow you and everything that you got going on as well?
We're on. So our podcast on the network is the Fucking Do It Cast.
Yes.
We're the last in the list on the Hard Knock Media. So you can find me there. Just put my name in your Google. I show up in a whole bunch of different places. So.
Boom. In editing, I just put all of those links on the screen.
Oh, nice.
There. They can see it on the screen. Follow, like, share all of that with my man Jamie. Jamie, thank you so much, bro.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me.
I am Patrick Michael Strange, Jamie Noguchi. This is the New Release Wednesday, the Nerds of Color, Quirktastic family, giving you our review of Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw. Definitely 2 thumbs up and toes up, especially because Jamie told me about how to throw them toes up. I'm not limber, not going to give it to you, but that's what we give it. Thank y'all for watching, yo.
Bye.
Don't waste your